Okay, we're going to go ahead and go over the results from this worksheet that we did on Friday. We are asked to give the domain and range and fill in the missing information. I know that I did in class number 1, 2, and 3, so I'm going to skip to number 4. Okay, number 4 tells you that your vertex, the easiest thing to do is that your vertex is always coming from your domain and your range. Okay, so on number 4, your H is going to be -1. Your K is also going to be -1. So your vertex should be -1, -1. If you look at number 5, the letter H is 8. Letter K is going to be 3. So your vertex is 8, 3. Okay, so check your work. You are checking to see that you got those right answers. If you didn't do this, you should be filling in the answers now. Okay, your domain and range gives you, again, your H and K. So my domain is 2, and my vertex is 2, and my K is -3. So my vertex is +2, +2, -3. Number 7, your vertex is 5, -7. H is 5 and K is -7. Number 8, remember X gives you your H value, so it's going to be 2, and R gives you your K value, so -2. Your vertex is 2, -2. Number 9, your vertex is -4, -5. H is -4, K is -5. Number 10 is 0, 0. Your vertex occurs at 0, 0. Are there any questions on that? Okay, easy, right? Okay, not harder, but the more, I guess, challenging ones are to look at your function and figure out what the vertex is. So you have to figure out, where does your graph start? Since my graph starts there, which is -3, -4. Some of you guys have -4, -4, okay? So just look at it closely to see which one is the correct answer. Number 13 starts here. So that's going to be -1, +3. -1, +3. So your vertex is -1, 3. And then finally, number 12 and 14. Would you guys consider this vertex to be a maximum or a minimum? Maximum, good. It's the highest point on the graph, okay? So your vertex is 1, 2. You know that your X coordinate determines H and your K coordinate determines Y. Okay, how about this vertex? Is that a maximum or a minimum? It's going to be a maximum, and it is located at 5, 3. Okay, are there any questions on how to find the vertex? Sure? Okay. I'm going to pause. Okay, so now we're going to look at A and B. So, yes, we are in November. Okay, so remember that your Y values determine your A and your B values determine your X, or B and A are determined from A and X. So we're going to look at first only the X values. Okay, so your X values tell you whether you point to the left or to the right. If X is less than, then it's going to point to the left. If X is greater than, then it's going to point to the right. If you look at this symbol, what is it pointing? To the left or to the right? It's going to be pointing to the left. So that means since it's pointing to the left, B is going to be negative. Okay, you answer the same question for number 5. Is my function pointing to the left or is it pointing to the right? It's pointing to the right, so B is going to be positive. Okay, let's go to number 6. You have to ask yourself, okay, B is X. X is determined by the B value, or B values are determined by the X values. Is it pointing to the left or to the right? Is it pointing to the left or is it pointing to the right? Your symbol. To the left, so it's going to be negative. Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit quicker now. This is pointing to the right, so it's going to be positive. Number 8 is pointing to the left, so it's going to be negative. Number 9 is pointing to the right, so it's going to be positive. Number 10 is pointing to the right, so it's going to be positive. Cool? So 8 is negative, 9 is positive, 10 is positive. Go to the back. On number 11, is my graph pointing to the left or to the right? It's pointing to the right, so B is positive. On number 13, is it pointing to the left or to the right? To the left, so that means that B is negative. If I look at number 12, is my graph pointing to the left or to the right? To the right, so B is positive. Okay, and number 14, is my graph pointing to the left or to the right? To the left, so B is negative. Are there any questions on that? Now we're going to determine the value of A. A comes from your Y values. Oops, and the question you have to ask yourself, is it pointing up or is it pointing down? If it's pointing up, if it's going up, that means it's going to be greater than. If it's pointing down, it's going to be less than. So if you look at this symbol, is this pointing less than or greater than? Less than, right? So it's going to be pointing down. So negative. If you look at the second one, this is greater than or less than? This is greater. Maybe I should write that. Greater or less than. So this is greater, so this is going to be positive. Okay, number 6. Y, is this less than or greater than? So Y is less than, so that means it's going to be negative. Is this less than or greater than? Less than, so it's going to be negative. Is this less than or greater than? All of you guys should be able to answer this question. Less than. I want everyone out loud to be telling me, is Y less than or greater than? Less than, so it's going to be negative. Thank you. Less than. Number 10, Y is less than or greater than 0? Less than, so it's going to be negative. Okay, let's turn to the back. Number 11, is my graph pointing up or is it pointing down? Up, so A is positive. Number 13, is it pointing up or down? So it's going to be positive. You guys tell me, should be 12 be positive or negative? Negative. Good job. And 14 should be positive or negative? Negative. Ding, 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 ding. Okay. Do you guys have any questions on this? Okay, and then the very last part, we finished all of the front. Now on the back part, this is where the tricky part comes in. You have to figure out what your domain and range are. Okay. If you look at I'm not sure if we did 11 or 13 in class, but on number 11, are my x values greater than -3 or less than -3? It's going to be greater than -3. All the values that are above or to the right of -3. And then finally, y, is it greater than -4 or less than -4? Is it going up or down? It's going up, so it's going to be greater than. All the values that are bigger than -4 or above -4. Number 13, all your x values that are less than or equal to -1, and your range are all the values greater than or equal to 3. Okay, because it goes up, but it's going to the left. Okay, number 12. Are my values going to the left or going to the right? My x values are going to the right, so that means that x is greater than or equal to 1. Is this graph going up or is it going down? Down, so that means that your y values are less than or greater than 2. Okay, and finally number 14. X is less than or equal to 5, and Y is less than or equal to 3. All right. There are students who got A wrong, but H and K right, or B wrong, and you know what I mean? So each little part is going to be worth 2 points. So each question is worth 2 points each. Go ahead and write down their grade and give it back to its owner. Just to make sure it's -2 for each little line. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.